Hi, this is Earlbedo. 2024 is ending and it's the perfect time to rank all characters released in Genshin Impact this 2024. In the first part, which you can watch here, I rank all 5 4-star characters. In this video, I rank all 5-star released this year. There's gonna be a lot, 10 to be exact. So let's get started. Our top 10 is Sigewinne. I know you saw this coming. Sigewinne was released just a few weeks after Arlecchino and Clorinde, who both used Bond of Life. And sadly among them, our resident head nurse was the Black Sheep. Not only among the Bond of Life users, but also within the Hydro family. Hydro is one of the most OP, if not the most OP element in Genshin Impact. From its support capabilities, healing, and raw damage, and damage from reactions it can help trigger like Hyper Bloom and Vape. The top characters in game are Hydro, Xingqiu, Yelan, Kokomi, and Neuvillette all have their own strengths, and are all almost a must-have. But Sigewinne just falls short. Her Hydro application is almost non-existent. Almost all Hydro characters are reliable Hydro applicators. Even Candace can beat her in this category. That means we cannot really rely on Sigewinne for a consistent reaction. Her elemental burst build time is also too much for a very low damage and few Hydro applications. Her skill buffing mechanic is not the most ideal too. Skill-reliant characters already have very good teams that do not necessarily need a dedicated skill buffing healer or a Hydro support. They also already have existing very reliable supports that can even beat Sigewinne's buff. But good news, she is very good at healing, as we should expect from a resident head nurse, right? Unless you really like her, I don't recommend pulling for her. Coming at number 9 is Chiori. Top 9 might sound low for her, but it's just that the characters released this year are actually very good. She is a good combination of Kinich and Earlbedo, in my opinion. In addition to having synchronized geo damage, she has mechanics like Kinich, which allows her to travel short distances while having elemental infusion. However, a major contributing reason why she ranked low is because, unlike Navia and Xilonen, who are excellent when paired with non-geo elements, Chiori does not actually interact best with other elements to trigger reactions to deal huge damage. As I mentioned, I don't consider Chiori bad, but just like Sigewinne, there are 5-star and even 4-star substitutes that might be better and that will add more value to your account. Next in our ranking is Emilie. I'm actually a fan of Emilie and I often use her in the Spiral Abyss, so it pains me to place her 8th. When built correctly, she surprisingly outputs huge Dendo damage. However, this is not always consistent, especially if you have a single enemy. Emilie works better against multiple enemies. Talking about burning, I believe that her burning mechanics is kind of forced. Emilie doesn't actually buff burning, it's just a catalyst to trigger her strong passive. Burning contributes very little to her total damage. And what's worse is, you are restricted to use burning on Emilie. Otherwise, the return is not really worth it. However, I'm very impressed with her damage as a sub-DPS. She also have unconventional team like burning Arlecchino or burning Risley and Ganyu, but they actually work well. But if you think about it, even without Emilie, they already work well with their current teams. So Emilie is not really a game changer. If you do not have a Dendro sub DPS or DPS, pull for her. But if you can wait for other Dendro DPSs and support like Alhaitham or Nahida, then maybe it's a good time to skip her banner. Next to Emilie is Clorinde. Clorinde has access to very strong reactions including Quicken or Aggregate and Hyper Bloom. She is actually self-sustaining due to her Bond of Life implementation, letting her heal herself and giving her access to Marechaussee Hunter set. On top of that, she is actually fairly easy to use compared to other Bond of Life users. However, these are not enough for her to land a higher spot, since aside from the other characters in the list being very strong, there are existing OP Electro units. Some of them are even 4-stars like Fischl and Kuki Shinobu. Overall, she is a well-rounded unit. Rank 6 is Kinich. Kinich is the second Dendro in the list, and he and Emilie have similarities, like both being burning DPSs. Just like Emilie, Kinich is better played with Pyro characters for burning. But he is ranked higher than Emilie for a few reasons. First is because although it is advisable to play Kinich with burning, it is not entirely required. Yes, it will output more damage in the long run, but unlike Emilie, Kinich will still be playable using other reactions. Next, he outputs relatively higher damage. Of course, he is a main DPS, but the difference is significant. And he also has fairly low energy needs. And as a Natlan character, he has very good exploration mechanics, even outside Natlan. This is especially good for early ARs. However, although I can say a lot of good things about him, he has some caveats. Kinich is not the easiest to play and he has a learning curve. If the enemy is very mobile and agile, you will have a hard time. Having obstacle in the combat is a problem too. He is also completely single target, And he has crit rate ascension, which is weird since his best slot weapon is crit rate and the Natlan artifact set effect is crit rate too, so it's redundant. If you are pulling or saving for him, make sure to take this into consideration. We are halfway on our list, but before we proceed, if you like this kinds of video, please subscribe to my channel. It will help me a lot. The top 5 on our list is Chasca. Kinich might have higher total DPS than Chasca, but there are good reasons why she ranked higher. First, her exploration is one of the best, if not the best in game. If you pair her with Auroron, you basically can fly forever inside Natlan. But even outside Natlan, she is just even better than Wonder in exploration. Some of you might say this should not be considered, but let's be real. How many times have you gotten frustrated because your stamina was depleted in the middle of climbing a cliff? Just like anime characters, she works well with other elements, not only as a support but as a DPS. On top of that, she is very easy to use too, and compared to her counterparts, she also has interruption resistance. And because she is an animo DPS from Natlan, she has a lot of artifact choices from OP support sets to DPS sets. As a bow user, she also has tons of weapon choices from all categories. I think one of her downsides though is being a single target DPS. With more enemies, she deals less damage. I also don't think that she is a must pull, especially if you already have animo DPSs. Nonetheless, she is a pretty enjoyable unit for me. Fourth on our list is Mualani. She is a charge attack nuke DPS. And by nuke, I mean this. Even at bare minimum, my C0 Mualani beats even Raiden Shogun in terms of burst damage. What's crazy is, it's not just her burst that deals crazy huge damage, but her charge attack too. As a Hydro main DPS, she has access to Vape, which is crazy since it amplifies her damage by a lot. She has also HP scaling, so you can give Bennett to your other teams. And as a Catalyst user that scales with HP, she is very F2P friendly, having tons of weapon choices from all categories. Her exploration is also great, especially in Natlan. All this combines makes her very beginner and F2P friendly. Even at low investment, she slaps. I think her only downside is, she is a little clunky. There are times her charge attack and bursts miss when enemies move. Of course, this doesn't happen all the time, but it can definitely affect your experience. But for me, this is just a little trade-off for having crazy damage. I know most of you will be surprised, but my top 3 is Xianyun. The primary reason why she is ranked very high is because she is a great healer. Her healing is highly effective even without her unique and very niche mechanics. Next, as an animo catalyst, healer, and support, she can wear OP support artifacts like the Viridescent Veneer set, and she can also wear very effective support weapons. And just like Hydro characters, animo characters are just inherently good due to their support capabilities. Her exploration skills are excellent, and surely having her in early AR will be a significant advantage. Talking about her special skill, she enables her teammate to jump and plunge like Xiao, enhancing their plunge attacks and increasing their plunge attack crit rate. She serves as an excellent support for Xiao, but she also introduced new ways to play the already powerful Hu Tao and gave spotlight to Diluc. Plus, the damage buff is not a joke. Her kit might be very niche, but she does it well along with very effective healing and support capabilities. We are on to our top 2 5-star characters released in 2024. It's a battle between the Fort of Harbinger, Arlecchino, and the Engraver for the Children of Echoes, Xilonen. The second best 5-star release in 2024 is Arlecchino. I know, Arle fans are punching the air right now, but let me explain why she just ranked second, which is so high by the way. The Knave is not just a monster lore-wise, but also in-game. She is one of the best, if not the best DPS in Genshin Impact so far, even beating Neuvillette in terms of raw damage. I was so hyped when I got her. Just look at her hit this hard at level 70 with only level 5 normal attack. She is also so OP that I forgot my Hu Tao exists. Sorry Hu Tao. And by OP, I mean this. When built correctly, she can easily deal more than 100,000 damage per normal attack. Even with low investment, she can easily clear the Spiral Abyss with the correct team. It's also worth mentioning that her exploration is also good. On top of that insane damage, she can also heal herself, which I think is the same reason why she just ranked second. The reason why she can only heal herself is because in combat, nobody in all of her team can heal her. Her Bond of Life implementation is actually very smart. It gives the players the sense of playing her as a high risk, high reward character instead of playing her brain rottingly. but it takes some management and strategy to keep her alive since she cannot be healed in combat, as I mentioned. There were numerous times I had to repeat the Spiral Beast Chamber, not because she is weak, but because I died because I cannot immediately heal. It may sound like a skill issue, but it happens. With that, this means that she is not a very beginner-friendly character, especially if you do not have a reliable shielder yet. I think that's her only flaw. She is a monster, an almost perfect unit. So there is no question, I recommend pulling for her regardless if you already have a good DPS. She will add tons of value to your account and you will not regret it. The 5-star character that will add the most value to your account and our rank 1 is Xilonen. It's been a while since we had a very reliable support and surprisingly, it's from a Geo character. Her supportive capabilities are Archon level, even better than Zhongli in some scenarios. I won't discuss her kit fully but let's talk about why she ranked first because of her talents. First, if there are Pyro, Hydro, Cryo, or Electro in the team, her skill lets her decreases enemies' resistance to the corresponding element I mentioned by up to 36%. That's insane! To paint a picture, Zhongli only has 20% resistance shred, although Zhongli's resistance shred is for all the elements and physical too. But just take a look at their differences here.
Stabilize.
Overruled.
Cut down.
Overruled. Letting brave names echo. Witness mine.
While Animo character wearing Viridescent Veneer set shreds 40%. So it's just crazy for me to have this high resistance shred innate to a character's kit and not an artifact. And it doesn't end there. Her burst also heals the active character based on her death, and her healing is actually so good. Here's a healing comparison of my crowned Kokumi against my Xilonen with level 6 burst. Another notable mechanic is her other passive where her death increases when other character, specifically Natlan character, in the team triggers Night Soul Burst, which happens when they deal elemental damage. So basically, she will have higher healing when there is another Natlan character. Top of that, as a Natlan character, she can wear the Cinder set from Natlan that can give up to 40% elemental damage bonus. I hope by now you're realizing how great she is as a support. She is not only a god tier support, she can also be a Geo DPS, but she doesn't have the strongest damage like Navia, but it's worth mentioning since this can be good for early AR, having a support and DPS in one. What's crazier is, even though she has this amazing support capabilities, she is very easy to build and is F2P friendly. You literally just build her all def from artifacts and weapons, which we have great options for, and she's good to go. One more thing, her exploration is also so good too, especially in Natlan. She just has it all. The only negative thing I can say about her kit is the inability to interact with Dendro and Animo, which is forgivable since it is innate for Geo characters. But that's it. Her kit is well thought of and translates very well in combat. It is evident that the main reason why I rank her higher than Arlecchino is because she is an Archon level support that is very easy to use and build. She will add value to your account regardless if you're a beginner, a veteran, or an FTP or a whale. We reached the end of the video. Do you agree with my list? Comment your ranking below. Thanks for watching. Again, this is Earlbedo. See you next time.